Audio Jungle.
Welcome to WILDCHILD Records. I'm your host, Jay Stoyan, and you're watching us from the Hammer. We're at Hamilton. We're at Merck Snack Bar. We're here with fabulous musician Michael Theodore. We're going to learn all about his illustrious career when we come back. So stay tuned. You're watching WILDCHILD Records on the Disability Channel. I'm Jay Stoyan.
Hi, this is Dave Stevens for the Disability Channel.
An inability to break out. I'm sitting by the door on the second floor, losing my 7-year war. It's not an illusion, so why the exclusion?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's about you. So,
you say you're a disability dynamo.
Joining me, and welcome to this beautiful Travelers Championship.
I only want one accolade from you.
So my story is unique, it's amazing, but it's not anything that you guys don't have inside of you. I'm not a hero, I'm not anybody special. I'm just this guy without legs that went out, and I just did it.
Stats outweigh the Democrats, the diplomats, and the bureaucrats.
This is probably your first interview down on the ground on your butt and stuff like that?
time ever,
All
baby.
right.
Eliminate, invalidate, invalidate, invalidate.
Stay with us and the Disability Channel.
Hi, I'm Eric Lindros. You're watching the Disability Channel, showcasing abilities.
Blithen, the host of Veterans Onward to Prosperity TV show. And I'm here to tell you that the drum ball drop October 12th is a great opportunity for you to contribute to the lives of veterans and disabled people to have a lifetime career in the media that they will love. The Disability Channel has a great education program, and you get to contribute and have some fun with the drum ball drop October 12th. So please do your part so that others can have a life that they will love and a lifetime career in the media industry.
Welcome back to the show. As you see, we're at Merck Snack Bar. Now, this is a wonderful snack bar. I want to thank the owners for inviting us. I want to thank Michael for linking us up. This is great. We're out in Hamilton. I love Hamilton. Hamilton, to me, growing up, is like where I grew up in Scarborough. Great people, hard workers, black and white. You know what you're going to get with the people from Hamilton. So this is great. Again, Michael, thank you for being on the show today.
My pleasure, Jay. It's good to be here at my local. Welcome.
Well, this is great because, yeah, this is your local.
It is my local.
So I'm in your backyard. So before we get into your career, tell us about the bar, tell us about your area, tell us about the community.
This bar is owned by a super guy named Mark Baker, and it was actually one of the first places. It was situated next door and had a different name. Mark was cooking there, and my wife and I, when we were looking for a place to buy, well, we came in here, we had a couple of drinks, and we just checked out the vibe, and we listened to what the people were saying in this community, and we ended up buying 2 streets from here.
Well, I was going to say you're a real good gauge of that because you have been, socializing and interacting with the public, the community, being a musician for decades, for years. So when you say the vibe is great, you got to believe it.
And you could see it happening, and over the time that we've been here, especially with the lockdown and stuff, one of the nicest things that happened here is people who were unemployed, other companies hired their staff to come and work there so they can compensate, help with the money, and help people out. So you really got that community feel going on. It was
That's
awesome.
great. And again, we are live, so we are at Merck Snack Bar, so it is open, so there is people in here drinking and having fun and eating food. Check out the food, great food here.
We're one of them.
There you go, cheers.
We're 2 of them.
Cheers. So again, you're watching WILDCHILD Records, and we're going to be showcasing part of these segments on Bell 5 TV and your TV, Cogeco. So I really want to thank our platform associates and partners, Bell and Cogeco, the people in the States. But let's get to Michael. So Michael, take us all the way back, and what we'll do is we'll sort of do a past, present, future. I'll jump in, play a little music in between.
Right on.
So now I know you grew up in Montreal.
I did.
So tell us a little bit about the different vibes of Montreal and Toronto, or Ontario.
Well, you know, I moved to Toronto in 1985.
Okay.
My wife at the time, we came here to actually pursue an acting career. And one of the things I noticed right off the bat was, you know, in Montreal, there's a saying we have in Montreal, people work to live. And in Toronto, people live to work. And that's one of the things I noticed, is that the work mentality in Toronto, everything was about money and dollars and cents, and not as much about personal happiness or growth in terms of oneself. And that's something that I miss from Montreal.
I was going to say, how did that affect you?
Well, I didn't pursue the acting career, that's for sure.
Okay.
I started to go to my first love, which was always music from the time I was 2 years old. And I picked up a guitar a little more. I was in bands in Montreal, but never really doing too much.
Okay.
So once I was here doing that, I started writing some songs and, you know, trying to shop them around and do whatever, play the coffee houses in Toronto. I lived in the beaches for a long time near Queen Street down there, and that kind of reminded me a little bit of the college town in St. Anne de Bellevue, where I went to John Abbott College, and on the island of Montreal, but just in the West End. And the beaches kind of remind me of that. So, you know, I enjoyed that. Yeah, in Toronto. So I enjoyed the community feel that was there. It's all about community, isn't it? I mean,
I love Montreal.
That's what I like about here. That's what I liked about the beaches. And Montreal, I had the same thing as a kid, you know, that community feel.
I think Montreal's a great city, great people, great history.
Yeah.
Too bad about the Canadians, but they're...
Yeah, no,
but, you know... I'm used to it. As a Leaf fan, I'm used to it. I've seen it before. So
it's hard being a Leaf fan.
We could use a couple of those guys. We could use.
I'm not a Habs fan.
No.
Oh no.
Oh, okay. There you go. So let's move it ahead. And I know you're like a triple threat. Like you play multiple instruments. You're a writer. You do a Tom Jones cover, which we're getting to a little bit. Tell us the inspiration behind it all. Like, where did it start, and then we can just jump forward.
Well, interestingly, I'm going to start with the Tom Jones piece.
Okay.
Because that's kind of how it all started with me. I was the youngest of 4 kids, and when I was 2 years old, my siblings would be at school, and I was at home with my mom, and she was a Tom Jones fan, and she'd play the records, you know, and I'd have the records there. So before I could even read, my mom would say, Mikey, can you go find, play It's Not Unusual? And I would go through the records. I knew which record it was on. I knew where to put the needle, whatever song. Green Grass at Home, Delilah, it didn't matter. I knew where the song was. I would put the needle down, and I was just in love with Tom Jones.
Now, would you sing it? Like, would you sing?
So my father, who was a nightclub owner, had a little tuxedo made for me.
Wow.
And red lining. I got the purple here. I had the red lining, a little tuxedo, and I would go off into his nightclubs or anywhere, and I would grab a spoon or whatever, and I would do the Tom Jones stuff.
So it's in the family.
It was something I loved doing, and you know, jump ahead.
Yeah.
You know, when I turned 50, here I was with the good fortune of knowing so many awesome musicians. I had this cockamamie idea to say, man, let's bring the Tom Jones show back.
Really?
So I turned around and put that show together, and the musicians loved it.
How serendipity is that, eh?
It was awesome.
Like,
it was
so
full circle.
How long would the span be when you?
Oh well,
like 30 years?
More than that. Probably 45 years. I mean, I did Tom Jones as a kid from the time I was maybe 2 to 5 years old.
Okay.
And then obviously didn't do it, and you know, you do what little kids do. I played hockey. I did whatever else. And then got into the music, did the music scene. I never thought once about doing.
Do you remember how that came back to you? Like, how did that come back to you?
Well, I think it was just the fact that you know, Tom Jones got cool again.
Yeah.
You know, and so it kind of, you started to see
Carlton,
more.
right? Carlton. I mean, he brought back Tom Jones.
Well, he did bring back that dance.
Yeah. Didn't he?
So, you know, the thing is, Tom Jones's career, he's always had this great voice, and you know, when he started to kind of become cool again, there were more clips being shown, and there was things YouTube was bringing it back. So I was able to start appreciating, first of all, the guy's voice and how amazing it was, and realizing that I could pull it off.
And he was also one of the original studs.
He wasn't he, Tom? Well, he was an original stud.
He was an original.
I mean, he was a poster boy for sure. You know,
panties on the stage.
Well, he hated that.
Yeah, he did. I know.
He did not like that.
But it was pretty wild. Like, he was so talented. And I don't know much about Tom. I'm sure you know a whole lot, everything about Tom. But I know he was his own man too, was he not? He didn't really like to go along if he didn't agree a little bit?
He had a little bit of that, but you know, at the same time, he also felt very fortunate to come from the poverty that he came from and to have the life that he had. So he never did anything that would
jeopardize his career. Was he Welsh or Wales or something?
He was Welsh.
Welsh,
from
right?
A small town, a mining town in Wales. And so it's funny you talk about the panties. You know, when he was young, he was singing in men's clubs. Women weren't allowed in the clubs, so he'd be singing in these men's clubs. And he said, you know, I was used to people throwing all kinds of stuff. You know, he was 16, 17 years old, and he said the men in there would get drunk, fights would happen, chairs would be thrown, whatever else. He said he could deal with any of that stuff. But when women started throwing panties at him, he said, I had no idea what to do about that.
And I think, now I might be mistaken, but I know there was a supermodel back in the 70s that was also from Wales or Welsh, and I think it was Raquel Welch. I think they had something going on back in the day.
Well, they certainly may have.
Yeah,
I think that
so.
Tom had something going on with
Raquel,
a few guys.
I mean, I think you couldn't pick a better good-looking guy than Tom Jones and a better-looking girl than Raquel Welch.
Right?
I'm
sure that they had some good times.
Speaking of Tom Jones, I'm going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I'm going to put Michael on the spot and get him to play a little bit of Tom.
Hey!
How's that? Is that okay?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, stay tuned. What we have right now in the studio, well, actually, a Merch Snack Bar out in Hamilton. We're here with musician Michael Theodore. You're watching the Disability Channel, Wild Child Records. We'll be right back.
All about inclusion and really giving everyone a fair say.
Welcome to the Today Show. This is our flagship show. I am Unstoppable Tracy.
I am Zach Damon.
It is a pleasure to be here. I am excited. What is up?
We have a great show today.
Jay Stoyan here for the Disability Channel, the world's only inclusive channel for and by persons with disabilities.
Get ready to be inspired, everyone.
We have people watching from all over the world, but also all over Ontario.
We also take a concerted attention in the veterans community.
In moments of stress and trauma, we can get a hold of ourselves.
To help make a difference for people with disabilities, to show people how to love themselves or their disability.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys having me, giving this platform for myself and other people with disabilities.
Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this episode of the Disability Channel Detroit. Please tune in next time.
Hi there, Wendell Clark. You're watching the Disability Channel, showcasing their abilities. All the best.
Hello, I am Unstoppable Tracy in Toronto, host of the Today Show Toronto on Bell 5. Wonderful to meet you all. Look forward to tuning in with you.
Welcome back to Wild Child Records. We're out here in Hamilton at Merck Snack Bar. There you go, Merck Snack Bar. We're here with musician Michael Theodore. We're just talking a little bit about Tom Jones, and he's going to give us a special little treat. He's going to play a little bit of his Tom Jones stage.
This was Tom Jones's second #1 hit. This was released, I want to say, about 1966. Maybe 65. It's not unusual actually being the first one. And what I love about this is it's just a simple country song, but a beautiful song. And I know you know this, a great ballad. And it's just a country song. The old hometown looks the same as I step down from the train. And there to meet me is my mama and papa. Down the road I look, and there runs Mary, hair golden, lips like cherries. It's good to touch green, green grass of home. There we go, little green, green grass of home. What a classic song. It is. It's a beauty.
Now, does he do any other country songs besides that?
You know, you break them down, a lot of songs are country songs, you know, and that's an interesting thing. I mean, there was a Lonnie Donegan song that he used to do, I'll Never Fall in Love Again.
Oh, yeah.
And you break that down, it's a country song, right? I mean, a lot of songs come from the blues or country genre, and certainly those ones count.
So I know you have so much great stuff on your website. Let's talk a little bit about your inspirational for writing, because I know you're a fantastic writer, and not a lot of people can write well. They write, but they don't write well, right? So tell us a little bit of your inspiration, your aspirations. Where do you get your ideas from?
My inspiration comes from guys like Bruce Springsteen, early Bruce Springsteen, certainly the Beatles. When I think about writing a song, I try to write something that is going to appeal to people.
Okay.
But also, I guess I try to come from the heart. I try to be honest, and just hope that that resonates with people out there who are listening to the song. I think if you're honest, people buy into that and respect that, and to me that's what makes a good writer.
Do you find that you insert aspects of your daily life into your song?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Or an incident,
ideas. My second CD, Leaving Familiar, was a title that came from my first wife, actually, when we were going through our separation and divorce, and I went into the house. We were meeting to talk about how we were going to divide things, have that conversation. And on the bulletin board, she had written these words, "Leaving Familiar," and they struck me. They were beautiful words. So I asked her, I said, "Do you mind if I write a song about that or use that concept?" And so she was absolutely. She said, "You go ahead." I give her credit on the CD. I thank her for that.
That's great.
But I just found that those words were poetic. Leaving familiar. We all go through that. And that's kind of what I mean. There's a personal thing for me. It comes from a personal situation. The song isn't about my relationship with her. It's just about life. And we all experience changes in our lives, and we all experience leaving familiar and having different things going on. So that's kind of what
I love that. I think it was Rolling Stones magazine. Rolling Stones magazine said two of the most famous musicians in the world can break down a song into everyday life but make it magical. And he said Elton John and Paul McCartney. If you listen to their songs, he goes, take Rocket Man. Rocket Man is about going to the moon and blah, blah, but it's like just an everyday life about somebody being an astronaut and missing his family.
Right.
And Paul McCartney, who's that knocking on the door? Like Auntie Gin, it's probably his aunt. You know what I mean? Right. So it's just break it down.
Yeah. And
the songs can be beautiful instead of getting all thoughts in your head. So that's wonderful. Now, you mentioned the Beatles, so I have to ask you: have you had a chance to watch Get Back?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let me.
How many hours was it?
Eight. Yeah.
Was it 8?
We watched it. How many times? I don't know. Now tell me your what you thought. I mean, obviously it's remarkable.
Well, here's what's interesting. I mean, they're at this stage of the game, for anyone who's a Beatle fan and jazz guys I know, blues guys I know, there's not too many people out there that don't appreciate, whether you're a fan or not, that don't appreciate what the Beatles accomplished and the songs that they had, and then to think that they were only together for 6 years. I know. That's pretty unbelievable. So I knew a lot about, I saw the Let It Be movie, and I've watched it a few times. I actually watched it with my kids when they were young. I forced it upon them and said, you've got to watch this.
Nice.
So there was a lot that I read about and kind of knew, but I watched that and there were still pieces of it, the role that Billy Preston played.
Yeah, huge.
And I never realized, where he was at with his career at that point, and to sit in and bring to the table what he brought with those guys, because he was pretty laid back.
Yeah.
And the other piece was looking how Ringo related to those guys, and the role he had. He didn't say much.
He was always on the outside of steam, right? Got along.
They needed that.
Yeah.
Right? They needed that. If they had a Keith Moon in there,
it'd be crazy.
Would have been
him and Paul would. Because Paul,
Hello, everyone. Bonjour, bonjour. As Lieutenant Governor of Ontario, I'm delighted to offer my best wishes for success to the many friends and staff of the Disability Channel for your October 12th fundraiser in support of employment programs for persons with disabilities and veterans. Removing barriers wherever they exist, creating accessible spaces, and promoting greater equity are all central to this province's efforts to rebuild from the COVID-19 pandemic. So help us to ensure a more inclusive and resilient future, one that works for everybody. Please accept my thanks and encouragement. Keep up your inspiring and dedicated work. Thank you. Merci, miigwech.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Today Show. My name is Chris Power, and I'll be taking over for Unstoppable Tracy. For more information, please go to thedisabilitychannel.ca.
Welcome back to the show. Thanks for tuning in. You're watching WILDCHILD Records. This was part 1 featuring musician Michael Theodore. Stay tuned for part 2. I'm Jay Stoyan. We'll see you next time.